Good morning, my people. We're here to bring you the player ratings of Arsenal for Tottenham Hotspur 1. You know, sometimes I really pity the supporters of Tottenham Hotspur. I have my friend known as DJ VX Faizo. You know, I really ask myself, how did someone really have a lot of confidence going to this game of football that they can obviously get a result? I'm still wondering how it really came into their heads. Because it was written all over the world that Arsenal was the stronger side and Spurs was really very, very weak. And Arsenal has always gone ahead to go and really beaten Spurs in there for you. So all I want to let you know is that the club of Arsenal went ahead to obviously beat Spurs by 4-1. I saw videos of DJ VX Faizo. I think he said he really went ahead to make a promise that if at all he really goes ahead to, if Arsenal beats Spurs, he'll DJ when he's shirtless and having a saucepant and wearing a saucepant as his cape. And I saw his videos because yesterday he was DJing at Euphoria, and I'm like, oh my God, has football really taken people to this level of making pledges like this? And I just can't wait to see how he'll appear today on the NRG show, from 7:30 p.m. because he's really good at making such promises that if my team doesn't do so and so, I'll do A, B, C, D. You understand? So that is it. That was a by the way, but it's so much connected to the game. But let's get to the player ratings. Good morning, the viewers of Rokani Media Football. And how are you? Obviously, and hope you guys had a fantastic and fantabulous night in here onto the Rokani Media Football. So let's get going. In goal, David Raya failed to keep a clean sheet in a second game in a row. I've seen people go hard on him that why could he obviously get off his line, and everyone who is blaming him, he's naive about the game of football. He's a super goalkeeper and he has to obviously get off his line each and every time the ball is really moving because he trusts the people that he gives the ball and he knows to it that they won't lose it. But Zubimendi was pressed and he lost possession in there for you, and guess what happened? Richarlison went ahead to obviously loop the goalkeeper as he had gone off his line, and he had really moved towards the D of the 18 yards box area of the club of Arsenal. But I give him a 7 out of 10 for me because he had nothing to do apart from that, not all that tested, but we know that he's really a very good goalkeeper in there, and that is David Raya. He's taking a 7 out of 10 for me. Julian Timber, guys, I was on a TikTok live yesterday night and I really explained the scenario of how Arsenal lost Lisandro Martinez to Manchester United and how Man United lost Julian Timber to Arsenal. Remember, when Erik ten Hag came in to Manchester United, he wanted to bring in a 19-year-old Julian Timber by then, who was really one of the most talented in that central defense, and he was really young. But he had agreed to come to Manchester United. Louis van Gaal warned him that when you go to Manchester United and you don't get into the starting 11 for the club of Manchester United, I'm not taking you to the World Cup. And I tell you, every dream of a player is to play in the World Cup. And he extended his contract at Ajax and he stayed there. And now Arsenal had agreed a deal to bring in Lisandro Martinez in December 2021. But when Erik ten Hag confirmed that he's coming to Manchester United, Lisandro Martinez had agreed a deal with Manchester United and Ajax were willing to obviously get the amount of money that Arsenal was offering them. Lisandro Martinez got hold of his cellular and he hollered at the manager of Man United by then in May, June, in there for you. And he told him, I'm going to Arsenal. But if you tell me you need me, I'll obviously come for you. And that's how United went ahead to pay close to £56 million for this player. So these players were supposed to be on opposite sides. Julian Timber was supposed to be at Manchester United, and a player known as Lisandro Martinez was supposed to be playing at Manchester United in there for you. So he was supposed to be playing at Arsenal. So Timber, he was involved in the first goal. He put in that cross and it was headed by the defender of Spurs, and it fell to the vicinity of Declan Rice. One touch football to Ebelechi Eze, and Ebelechi Eze went ahead to nod that ball into the back of the net. You understand? So, and he got himself an assist, that is Declan Rice. But Timber was involved in the first goal, even the third goal of the game, that was the second of the game for Ebelechi Eze to complete his brace. he had a pure assist now this time round. For me, a 9 out of 10. When a fullback goes ahead to put in such performances, I tell you, I really give him the best of the best, because the lad really looked good into that central defense. That is a man known as Julian Timber into that particular kind of game in there. So Timber comes in through to get a 9 out of 10. Riccardo Carafiori, I tell you what, he's solid. He's solid, and he's still showing us the capabilities of how he can turn out to be one of the best left backs in the league. And by the end of this season, I tell you, he will be one of those left backs to be talked about by the analysts and pundits, that he has gone ahead to have a very good season. Last season, disturbed by injuries. This season, he was the first player to score a goal for Arsenal at Old Trafford in that game that ended 1-0 in favor of Arsenal in here for you. So that is Riccardo Carafiori for you, and for me, he takes an 8 out of 10 into that particular game. Hincapi, oh my God. I think he made his first Premier League start for the club of Arsenal. He had already gone ahead to make a Champions League start, a Carabao Cup start, but he had not gone ahead to make a Premier League start. And he was given a task to prove the manager that he deserves to be the left-sided centre-back in the absentia of Gabriel Magalhaes. And indeed, he understood the assignment and he passed the test. And I know in the midweek, he'll be up against Harry Kane in that Champions League game that's going to be played on Wednesday. Hincapi, 9 out of 10. The lad really looks solid and is good on the ball, and his game reading is out of this world, and he's fast. You know, the guy is exceptional. William Saliba comes in through to put in a very huge shift in there for you, commanding the defense in absentia of Gabriel Magalhaes, and he really did. And for the goal they conceded, you cannot blame it on him. You can't blame it on him. That is all about a man known as William Saliba. And he takes a 9 out of 10 for me. He really looked good, solid, and he was commanding, and that defense never conceded a goal because of him. It was because of Martin Zubimendi era in there for you. So he takes a 9 out of 10. Then we get to Martin Zubimendi. I think he only made one howler that resulted into a goal, right? But that won't deny me from giving him an 8 out of 10. I tell you. He will take an 8 out of 10 from me. That is Martin Zubimendi in there. Then we go to Declan Rice, responsible for the assist of for the second goal. And in the second minute, they had connected well with Eze to obviously see Declan Rice face the goalkeeper, but he obviously missed that close range shot in there. So it was a Declan Rice as a connection for the second goal, and for the first big chance of the game, it was an Eze Declan Rice connection in there for you. It looked like at the beginning of the game that these two would obviously connect to create a moment of magic, and indeed it happened for the second goal. And Declan Rice, 9.3 out of 10 for me in there for you. Ebelechi Eze, hat-trick master. Hat-trick master. And would have gone ahead to get himself an assist in the second minute of the game if Declan Rice had buried that ball into the back of the net. And I give him a 9 point, not a 9. I tell you what, I rarely give players 10 out of 10, but I'm giving Ebelechi Eze a 10 out of 10. Scoring a hat-trick in your first North London derby, one, being an Arsenal fan, you know, he cried when he left the club of Arsenal from the academy, and he returns in there. And remember, this is the team that wanted to hijack him from Arsenal to take him, but Arsenal came back, swept in, and really had their player finally. So when you add all those factors, it was a huge motivating factor for the lad. And guess what happened? He did the needful and went ahead to obviously put in a very huge shift altogether, and he found himself scoring a hat-trick. 10 out of 10 for Ebelechi Eze. I'm giving him a 10 out of 10. That is it. We go to Bukayo Saka. Obviously, 8 out of 10. I didn't think that he was really lively in there, but all in all, I really understand that he will obviously get there, because the most important bit of it all was him to win. And I know the weight of the armband that he really wears on his left hand, you know, it really comes up with some effects, sometimes positive and other times negative. But in this aspect for this lad, looks like they are all not all that, all positive and all negative. He's in the middle there. That is it. 8 out of 10 for me for Bukayo Saka. Leandro Trossard. Guys, this guy is special. I love him, and he has really done a lot at the club of Arsenal. He has punched beyond his weight. Do you know that clubs can sign players expensively and they come out and really flop? You know, but he came in through for Arsenal. He came in through to Arsenal for £27 million from Brighton that could reach £30 million in there. And guess what happened? He's scoring goals for fun. Trossard yesterday opened up the scoreline with that chip into the 18 box area that really unleashed him or unlocked him, and he put that ball in the back of the net. That is Leandro Trossard for you. And then for the fourth goal, he came up with the assist, and he had 2 goal involvements as a player. Remember, when they drew with Sunderland, he had given Arsenal the lead. If at all, Gabriel Magalhaes hadn't obviously slept in a second to see the Brian Brobby leveling that game. So for me, he takes a 9.5 out of 10. That is it, Leandro Trossard in there for you. Mikel Merino, responsible for the assist, and the assist for the first goal and the secondary assist for the fourth goal. He takes a 9 out of 10. You know, he's really playing, he really plays very well, and he is really trying to tear around, you know, that role and get goals in there for you. He has been scoring for Arsenal, and he has obviously gone ahead to put in assists for the club of Arsenal, and he's really a special player. And I now understand why Arteta loves this Spaniard, because he's a multifunctional player. And this gets us back to what I've always wanted to tell people, that clubs nowadays need multifunctional players more than good players that play in only one position in there for you. So that's all about Merino Mikel. Who came off the bench? Madueke Noni. 8 out of 10. He was busting in space very well. Looked like he was fresh and ready to go in there. 8 out of 10. They brought on Ethan Nwaneri, 8 out of 10 too. Then Mosquera came in through, 7.5 out of 10. Lewis Kelly came on through, and to me, he takes a 7.5 out of 10. And now the manager of Arsenal, who goes by names of Mikel Arteta, 9 out of 10. Who is my man of the match? I tell you, it's none other than Ebelechi Eze. You can't score a hat-trick and your team wins, and then you are not the man of the match. So my man of the match is Ebelechi Eze. I don't know who your man of the match was, you know. But you can argue me out, or you can really agree with me in the comment section below. I sign out for now. See you later. Good morning. Continue to subscribe to this channel to see to it that all really goes on as planned. And we want to see to it that all really goes on well, and continue to subscribe. How do you subscribe? Lower right bottom corner is the place to be. Smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, the notification bell that will enable you to get notified every time I upload a video onto this beautiful channel. Hope I've gone ahead to tackle everything, and I think I've left no stone unturned. For a stone that I've gone ahead to leave unturned, you can as well go in the comment section and really let me know something that I missed out on really telling you. Because the substitutes, those are the only 4 that really came in through. I'm out, and good morning, you know. Let me see. In the next 2-3 hours, I'll be dropping another video onto this channel.